We are recording now. Woo! This is episode 4 of
Yes.
Points of View, a few festival podcasts.
It's true.
I've just coined that on episode 4.
That's okay.
Yeah, better late than never, eh?
Yeah, and also it's development, it's progress.
Exactly.
All of
It's
those
growth.
things. It's growth.
It's growth. On today's episode, we have Ula.
Hi.
Woo!
Happy to be here.
Hell yeah. So today we're going to be talking about Ula's show, bits and bobs about it. Ula is an artist herself. So Ula, do you want to tell us your full name, please?
Oh, my full name?
Yeah,
Would you like that?
we've been plugging our full names.
Oh, okay, fantastic. So my full name is Ula Poloch.
Incredible.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is, definitely. Do I bio or what do I do?
Okay,
Yeah.
tell us. You can tell us the name of your show and when it's on first.
Oh, fantastic. I would love that. Yes, so my show's name is Belongings, and it's on the 26th and the 28th of June.
The same night as mine.
What a coincidence.
Yeah. So come see it. Double the fun.
Double bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Come
is
see
great. Yeah. Hang on. I'm thinking. Tell us about your creative team. So your actor, your director, your writer, any kind of... Yeah, go for it.
Cool. I started actually looking for my creative team like in November.
Yep.
Still ended up working on it until now, but at least we tried doing it earlier on. So my writer, her name is Kaja Pośnik, and she's actually Vicky, your friend.
Yeah, my friend.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
Big up Kaya. Love
Big
you.
up Kaya.
I've known her for like 3 years now and she's great.
Well, see, I've known her only like since November, but
Yeah.
we're here and we're making a play together. It's fantastic.
Yes.
And then my director, their name is Karol Olszewski, and I found them through my friends from Goldsmiths who were putting on a play, and I just saw a Polish surname and I was like, you.
Yeah.
So your creative team is fully Polish.
Yeah, they are.
That's sick.
All of them are.
Yeah. You are Polish.
I am
Yeah, also
Polish.
related
Yes,
Polish.
I am Polish.
To clarify.
And my actor is, surprise, also Polish.
Very
Hey,
nice, very nice.
let's go.
Her name is Karolina Stępiak, and she is the third-year BA actor from Mountview. I just finished Mountview, realistically, and back for a one-woman show.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Hell yeah. Tell us some like stories about putting the show together. Like, what was the creative process? And you have started rehearsals as well, yes?
We have, yes, last week.
So if you want to share with us like your creative process leading up to like creating the show, and then maybe something like what you're enjoying about the rehearsal process so far.
Well, basically the concept kind of behind the show developed for a few months because we started out from trying to put in obviously Polish influences into the play, and we wanted to do nursery rhymes first. We wanted there to be like a little bit of a magical element to it. Then we thought about including like Polish legends. And then we all scrapped all of this because we don't really have that much time. So we decided to focus on, can still keep a little bit of that magical element through those like trance type of, what's it called? Transitions, like in between scenes. So the character kind of goes into her own psyche and it gets a little bit unrealistic. So this is kind of how we kept that element. But we are focusing on a young person who moves to London and kind of has to navigate her own life when she's doing it. And it's very important that she's like in this kind of formative period of her life when she's kind of just become an adult and has to take on like all of those new responsibilities that can be very overwhelming to a young person who has to find their own new way in a new place.
Would you say that like your own personal experience kind of give inspiration for it?
I would definitely say it's not autobiographical. The word.
Autobiographical.
A
I had
long
this
word.
same struggle yesterday with Jess, and I was like, autobiographical.
Yeah.
That word, yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
It's not that. But it is inspired definitely by all of our lives in a bit. This is why I'm saying it's not based on a single person's life. And we have also researched some different immigration stories through this museum in Poland, which has like a very big resource of people on immigration, and they're just like telling their own stories. So it is kind of based on that, and there's different scenes that maybe hit a little closer to home to each one of us in the creative team. We've definitely, when we were discussing the play, we did draw inspiration from a lot of our experiences, but we did want to at the same time kind of keep it relatively
separated from yourself.
Yes. And then also so that people can actually relate to the character, and even if they're not from Poland, we kind of wanted to for the Polish element to be that kind of familiarity, but at the same time we want everyone to be able to relate to the person, especially those who had to kind of move to a new place and navigate their life.
That's really interesting. Would you say that, like, from what you've like kind of seen of it so far, that maybe from someone else's experience that you've yourself have been able to be like, oh, I relate to that as well, even though that wasn't your experience, it was someone else's that you've used for the character?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's this really odd underlying theme of loneliness, which is it's the loneliness and it's the silence. It's kind of the same. We found that this to be a common thread in all of the stories that we've had. For me, it was, for example, the very, odd looking, kind of clinically looking room in a shared house that I would come back to after work every day, and I would not really do anything because, well, being in this room kind of drained me already. And then I felt like I don't really have energy to do anything else because all of my energy was just focused on not losing my mind in this room.
Relatable.
And then I found this kind of common thread in, for example, we have this story of a lonely birthday, where you just sit there and it's like, well, I don't really have someone to turn to, and that wasn't my story, but it did feel quite relevant to some of the experiences I had. I can relate to a similar thing like that, where I was here for like over the Christmas holidays by myself, so it's interesting. I will see that in your show and be like, relatable. We were gonna try obviously not to make everyone cry. I mean, unless it's so good.
I love a cry.
Yeah, but we do want everyone to feel seen in that show.
Yeah. I think as well, like, the things that you've put on before, I'm just like throwing it back to your solo event. Like, that was really moving, and like it wasn't just sad, but it was also like uplifting, and there was lots of like connection, and like I felt like it was a really, really brilliant event. You can like talk about that if you want, but like I am expecting like I'm anticipating like similar feelings from your piece, and I think that like everyone in this like group of producers like respects you so much, and like
100%.
in terms of like the way that your solo event and also like you're producing from your view piece, like there is this certain like feeling that is like going through towards there's a through line of this feeling that has gone through your work so far, and I think that that's really cool. I really love, forgive me if I am wrong, but I really love your emphasis of culture. And how proud you are of it. I just love that you highlight culture within your productions, especially Back to Quilted Beats. Like, that was so cool. It's such a cool concept to have a concert where everyone was singing in their own language. And it made me, because I've been recently learning Irish, and it made me, when I remember being there that night and being like, God damn it, I wish I like was fluent in Irish.
Next time.
Watch the space. Watch the space. But yeah, it's really admirable, and I really respect that you that you put culture at the forefront of stuff that you do. It's really, really commendable. Yeah.
I think I've only noticed this year, really. I feel like it's been happening for a while, actually, because even in my undergrad, when we had to create like a 25-minute musical for our NPs, and we were using just like already existing songs to make it, and I pushed 2 Polish songs. I was just like, we're gonna have them in, and I convinced everyone, and they were just like, yeah, these were the best choices actually for those 2 scenes. And then I translated those songs to like, you know, at least to get the word out on the songs and on the artists. And yeah, I think I've noticed this year that I think that one of the best reasons to be in London is actually to witness the intersectionality and like the cultural hub that it is.
Yeah.
And also, well, you know, Polish culture is really fun.
Hell
and
yeah.
I think I really want to showcase it in my work. I don't want to obviously have that label kind of only doing Polish stuff. But at the same time, I just feel like there's actually so much potential in it. And a lot of the work, a lot of plays, I think, could be adapted for like the West End and for the audience in London. 100%. I think people would actually really love that, because a lot of the work is really like it's just good. It's just really good.
Yeah.
So this is why I also want to kind of put that. And as I was saying earlier, we also want to put some Polish music into our piece, so at least so that people hear it, and they can vibe with it, and they can be like, oh, there's actually this, you know, this completely separate scene that I've never heard of, but they make some cool music. And even in the piece itself, we have a few sentences in Polish. It's not like a full thing in Polish, but there's a few sentences, and we just want people to hear it. Like, that's really it. That's all we can ask for, is that people just hear the language for a little bit, because it's fun.
Yeah. It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I was gonna ask, is there like I was gonna ask if there was like sentences or like even sections in Polish in your piece. I think it would be, if you decided to do a whole or even like half or over half of your piece in Polish with subtitles, I think that would be something that like I don't know, people would be interested in
I think
seeing.
it'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Like, I think it would be. I use subtitles on Netflix even when it's in English.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
so like reading, it's not going to be a problem.
If it's a Polish film, I always have subtitles on, because the sound, I don't know why, but
Yeah.
in Polish movies is always bad.
Yeah. I get that. Yeah, exactly. It's, people are very receptive to that, and I think as well, like, because you already like, there's already like a Mountview audience here, and there's already like an audience of like people who did quilted beats and like people who did who are interested in this kind of stuff. Like, your event was really successful and popular. Like, you could do a show that non-Polish audiences would still really enjoy with language.
Yeah, I think there's actually been a few that were on in London that were done completely in Polish and with English subtitles, and I think they've gotten actually very good receptions.
Yeah.
I think with this piece, it wasn't really integral to the story for it to be in Polish.
Yeah.
Because it is a story about migration.
Yes.
And we also wanted for it to be consistent when our character is using Polish and when she's using English, as much as possible, obviously. Because I think there is this fine line every time we're having a language switch, we're trying to create a reason for it.
Yes.
We want it to always have a meaning. And not for her to just like switch between languages, because that would be just confusing. But I think I hopefully think we found like a good balance, and especially she's speaking English mostly when she speaks to her family, and then there'll also be some voiceover from the family themselves, which will only be in Polish. But yeah, I definitely feel like there is potential for, in general, I really think that London's audience is very receptive to things that are in different languages, and the reason, kind of circling back to Quilted Beats, the reason why I think that worked is because we had that a little bit of explanation between each song. I think this is all we need to do, is just provide context to the audience so that they know what they're watching.
Yeah.
And they also need to understand why it's relevant, because obviously none of the songs, I don't think they would make such an impact if people didn't know what they meant and if people didn't know why they were written. But there is a reason why every single one of these actors and singers wanted to show these songs. They were very close to their hearts and they were very passionate about them, which is why the audience cared, and they will care. If you care about it, the audience will care about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like
It's really nice.
any new piece of art, no matter what language it's in, if you don't know about the story, then like you're just willing to be transported into that world, no matter what it is. Like even if it's like in English, like open mind, and if it's good quality, then open mind and open heart.
Open mind and open heart.
Yeah.
More people need to be like that.
Yeah. And I just think like if it's good, it's good.
Yeah.
No matter what language or any kind of presentation wise it is, like it's just good.
Yeah.
It's good theatre, guys.
It's good theatre. We love good theatre.
Oh yeah.
We love good theatre.
And the storytelling.
Yeah.
Let's just think
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
storytelling.
it serves, the way that you use language serves the purpose of the story, not just for random.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
great.
So, as a producer, apart from this degree, what do you want to actually get out of the show? Like, do you envision it like life after View Festival? Would you take it to a Fringe? Do you see it like more than a one-person show? Like, have you had any thoughts, or are you more so just focused right now on View?
I want to say my really fantastic creative team have fantastic creative ideas.
That's
Hell
good.
yeah.
And we've been like in every rehearsal and every meeting, we're just like, so in this version of this show, and then in the an hour and a half version of this show,
Oh, amazing.
this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Realistically speaking, obviously I don't know if we'll do it.
Yeah.
But I think we definitely want to try and collaborate in the future,
Amazing.
and it will be either this or something else.
Yeah.
What I would like for this show to be, for sure, is I've just spent the whole day yesterday emailing people and asking them to please come to the show and to please, spread word about it.
Yeah.
Because what I would love to see is just a bunch of like people from like Polish communities, immigrant communities coming in and just enjoying it.
I was about to say that because like even though obviously this story is like Polish centric, the element of immigration is relatable to so many people in London that you have a wide audience to reach with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because even again, like me being Irish has a huge history of like immigration, so like immediately I'm like, oh well, I'm interested in this.
Yeah, I'm trying to reach out to people who, like, not just Polish communities, but also migrant communities in general. I think that's what I want for now, is I want people to really enjoy it and to see themselves in it a little bit. And just showcase some good Polish culture.
Hell yeah!
And I think we'll see after this. But I think for now, I just really want to open up to the industry and to make some new contacts in the industry that are international as well, and hopefully see where that takes us in the future.
Exactly. And obviously I know Kaya, who's your writer, but like you're both so great that like there's no way that you won't get traction from this.
You also need to meet Karol, because they are honestly a hub of creativity, and also so enthusiastic and so on it.
Love it.
Yeah, I really couldn't have asked for a better team, for both creatively and for an actor. Like when we were auditioning, we kind of knew Karolina was our last audition.
Yeah.
And well, obviously there was a little bit of debate. We're considering two different actors because they were bringing something very different to the role. But we decided to go with Karolina because she was just so energetic and so up for taking this role into different places that we knew that we couldn't we couldn't say no.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy, and we had our first rehearsal on Monday, like a full rehearsal on Monday, and it was fantastic just watching them work. And we've been doing a little bit of improv to kind of get ourselves in the zone. Funny story, our first scene, we see our character stranded at the airport just before she moves to London. There is a little bit of a delay, a 6-hour delay to be exact. And a very common theme in our play is birds. She's interested in birds, and she wants to be a journalist, so she writes stories about birds. Yesterday, Kaya, our writer, was supposed to fly to Poland, and she was at the airport at 8:45 a.m. ready to go. And then she texts us, and she just goes, well, the irony of correcting the script at an airport while we have a 6-hour delay.
Wow.
No.
Because a bird flew into one of the engines.
No way.
They're huge.
What?
Did you manifest this?
Well, I blame Carol because they were the one who actually made that correction in the script.
Yeah.
Kaya initially said 2-hour delay, and Carol just went, actually, let's make it 6.
Yeah. Oh my
And
gosh.
then, well, Kaya she ended up being stranded for almost 10 hours at the airport. She left at like 6:30 p.m. I was like, and she's like, yeah, it's field work.
Yeah.
I actually understand our character so much better right
method
now.
acting.
It's method writing.
Yeah, method writing.
She's. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, that's
Rest
so sick.
in peace.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, that bird.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's very tragic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Wow, birds.
Apart from the airport delay, what have been the biggest challenges so far?
Yeah.
Well, our main challenge is kind of getting the rights for the music we'd like to be in the piece.
Yeah, a very difficult producing challenge in general.
Yeah.
I do not envy you.
Unfortunately, that's not a fun challenge. That's kind of like a, I need to get this done challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it really.
Yeah,
Because
that's
I
fair.
I'm really enjoying this
That's
process
good.
with the team that I have.
That's amazing.
It's great. It's really great to hear that you're enjoying it, and it's not like, and like, obviously there obviously comes that like little bit of stress with anything we do because we always want it to be good, but it's like just such a nice feeling when you're actually enjoying
Creating
the hard,
something.
creating something and the hard work you're putting in. Yeah, so that it's like sick that the only like, even though it is a big thing, but the only thing is really the music.
Yeah, because I think this year has been I've been really focused on letting go of things, of delegating.
Yeah.
Like I've been trying to delegate, and I've been trying to kind of not be a control freak.
Yeah.
If possible, when possible. So I think I've been able to kind of let go of that controlling part of me with this team, because I do. Obviously, there were moments when I was like just in my head, and I was like, "Oh, is this gonna work? Is this gonna work? Is this gonna work?" And then I just decided to not vocalize any of it.
Yeah.
And it just figured itself out.
And it does work.
It does work.
Yeah.
It always figures itself out.
Yeah, because there's like 3 more creatives who are fantastic at their job.
Yeah.
We love creative
People who are good at their job.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Just
we
love
need
that.
more of
Yeah,
that.
just love it when that happens, guys.
I love when people are good at what they do.
When that happens, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, kind of final question really about View, but we do have one more question after it.
Okay.
But what other shows in the festival or wraparound events are you most excited about?
Ooh. I actually need to, because I'm excited about every one of them.
Don't worry, we've all said that as well.
Yeah.
And we mean it.
Yeah.
We actually do mean it, because
Yeah.
I'm excited to see every single one because they're so different.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I'm really excited about Holly's show because just the concept of the glow in the dark stars is so nostalgic.
Holly's show is Crescent Crisis.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh yes, absolutely. And then I am excited about Interior Exterior because at least
Yeah.
one that will be completely funny.
What did I say yesterday?
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
We
I'm
love
really
to
looking
laugh.
forward to it because I love to laugh.
We love to laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love to laugh.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's gonna be funny. Thank you.
It's gonna
Oh
be
yeah,
great.
of course. And then, see, I don't want to sound like a suck up, but
Yeah.
obviously Connor's show as well, because
Well, thank you.
when you remember when you were doing your jazz night
Uh-huh.
and just looking at you dance, it just like immediately it brings a smile to my face.
Oh,
I
no,
actually
that's so
just, I just
sweet.
cannot
Yeah.
help it. It's just so. I mean, obviously it's gonna be a sad show, but
Oh well,
But-
there is elements of comedy in
Oh,
it. Me
fantastic.
and Jess have worked around because I did at one point be like, I don't want this to be a whole depression session.
Yeah. Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
even if it was, I would probably just still be smiling. And the first round, I was like, yes, got it.
Yeah, it's me like real like in utter turmoil, but it's you just like,
Yay! My friend is dancing. Yeah. Very good.
And
Good
Yeah.
stuff.
let me just think about, because there's well, I'm really interested in Danzig as well, because Danzig is technically a Polish city.
Yeah.
yes.
I thought that.
Yeah, it is. It's just named differently in Polish.
Okay.
This is the German.
So how is it named in Polish?
Gdańsk.
Ooh.
I'm really looking forward to this, because that's going to be a story with a very different view on immigration.
Yeah.
And
that's Vito's show.
That's Vito's
Yeah.
show, yes. And yeah, I'm really excited about that. I think it's going to be a very good show to see just after mine on Saturday.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think it's going to be fun to see the different approaches, and especially because the characters are supposed to be very different in age.
Yeah.
So I think that will be very interesting.
Yeah.
It's that's interesting what you say. Like it's me, I think I can't remember which episode it was, but we were talking about how like each show is different, but the more we're actually talking about them, we're finding common threads. 'Cause
Yeah.
even when you were saying earlier on about how you have some speech with Polish, I've been the past week being like, do I say a phrase in Irish just to obviously show that aspect of
There's a whole other language.
yeah, and stuff like that, because it's not really I forget the number, but I don't know if this is factual, so completely forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think I remember seeing a statistic only 80,000 people in Ireland are fluent in Irish, which is insane, because that is there's a whole horrible history, I won't get into it. But it's funny, I'm like, oh my god, we have a similar thread in that, and then obviously you have this thread with Vito, but it's also different. It's funny how there's common threads, but at the same time it's a different colour of a thread.
Yeah.
If you get me?
I think my show could be a little in themes a little similar to Crescent Crisis as well, in the theme of just letting your artwork just do its job.
Yeah.
Kind of. We will have this, obviously our character will be working on her writing through this whole play. We don't think, we're still working on the last few scenes, but there should be a little bit of a combination of it, but obviously, and kind of institution of failed artists. I think it's kind of the same theme of working on your craft and sometimes failing at it, and sometimes just having to pick yourself up and do it again.
100%.
Yeah.
I did say I'm looking forward to Chanel's.
Oh yeah.
From that aspect of it, I think it's such a common thing in an artist's life. And one thing I'll have to say, nobody has resilience like an artist, because the amount of times we all get no, and you're just okay. So
That's all you can do.
Constant rejection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In life.
Yeah.
I'm just going to plug this really quickly because I need to make this factual, but it actually says here that nearly 1.9 million people, representing 40% of the population aged 3 or over, can speak Irish. So that's good. We love this rise in the recent years.
Well, but it's still 40%.
Yeah, I mean, it should be 100% realistically, but I mean, it has been getting better.
You can fact check it yourself, listener.
Yeah,
the listener can fact check it themselves.
Yeah.
But that
absolutely.
was a quick goog.
Yeah, thanks Vicky for that.
Yeah.
For the quick goog.
For the quick goog.
Don't even worry about it. Yeah. Cool. Do you have any chat about wraparound events or any? You can plug the stuff that you're doing or any events that you're particularly excited about.
What I do like is that all of us kind of want our audiences to think and reflect on what they saw and kind of on themselves as well.
Yeah.
I think this is something that we all should try to cultivate as much as possible, like in our lives. It's that kind of like 10 seconds of reflection and thinking about what you just saw. Because we don't really take that time very often as adults to like just stop and think about whatever.
Especially in a city like London where it's constantly
when you're
just constantly on the go.
you just have to keep pushing. But
Please stop.
I think there's a lot of those events which will kind of be just like, so just take that 5 minutes, just sit down, take those 5 minutes and think about what you saw, what you would like, you know, like what your inspiration is, and all of that. Even the like creativity zone, which is supposed to be just like take 5 minutes to do some arts and crafts, because you probably love it but you don't do it. Like
I love it.
I know that the reason why I really wanted to do this event is because I have so much arts and craft shit in my flat, and I just never do it because there's no time for it. So sometimes we have to make that space for ourselves or just create it for someone else.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's so true. Okay, the last question that we've been asking everyone is, do you have any like film, TV, music, like inspirations or recommendations or things that you've just been enjoying recently? It could be related to your show, it could be not related to your show, just you can recommend something or share something.
I don't think I have a specific recommendation. However, when I saw that question, the first thing that came to my mind was not being in a full-time job has been extremely inspiring this year.
That's really good.
I would say, well, it's been 2 years after my graduation and before coming here, and I was full-time employed all this time, even over full-time, because I was working in hospitality, so 50 hours a week, all of that stuff, no bank holidays, rarely any holidays. It's been so fantastic to just take some time and actually be able to digest reality, because this is what I think the most inspiring is people around me and the world around me, but I haven't had time to really appreciate it at all because I've been working so much. So obviously I'm not telling anyone to quit their job. However, I think I haven't really appreciated how much of an inspiration is just taking some time for yourself.
Hell yeah.
And creating that time for yourself. Again, we all have to pay our bills, and that's completely valid. But maybe, just get a friend who's in it as well and make them force you to take some time for yourself.
It's very important.
This is something that we have bonded over many a time.
Yes.
Because forcing, not even being able to force yourself, but getting someone else to force you to not grind 24/7 or over 24/7 really is like, that is an inspiring thing, and it's really hard and it's really intense, and you've done a great job.
Because as an artist, it's really hard to it's really easy to overwork yourself because you very rarely recognize what you do as work. And very often people around you don't recognize what you do is work. Like last year I was obviously working full-time in a restaurant, and then I took like a week off to film a music video, and
Which is not time off.
No, that was definitely not time off. It was like time 14, 16 hour days. And I came back and I was just exhausted, and like people don't understand because you've been off. What do you mean you're tired?
Yeah, of course they wouldn't.
But just take that time off. If possible, do it.
But that if there's anything you've learned from today's podcast,
it's true.
Just take some time off. It's not the end of the world.
And force yourself.
Yes.
Force yourself to.
And force your friends. Please.
Force them. To rest.
It's true. It's true.
Take
but
them
no
out for
rest
a
for
coffee.
us until after you.
No, but we have 3 weeks. But that's fine.
we can rest after that. July is going to be. The rest is going to be insane.
The rest in July.
I know. We're all like running up to it.
The rest in July is going to hit so hard.
Like
I am not ready for the rest of July.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely not.
It's gonna be crazy.
Okay, so yeah, we're pretty much done now. So this has been episode 4. Big thanks to Ula for
Thank you
sharing
so much for having me.
her show. I can't wait to see it. It's on again on the 26th of June. What time?
6:15
And on the 28th of June
at 6:45.
And you better go.
Yeah.
You
Please
better
come.
go.
Well, by the end of this, you will have booked anyway. So
Hell
that's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
So
that's actually
okay.
so fine.
But yes, thank y'all for listening.